Hi, it's Francine Ward, and welcome to April. And because it's April, we are focused on pillar number two, health. So, a question for you. How many of you, if you're enjoying good health right now, how many of you think that if you've got good health today, you're always going to have good health? Well, I don't feel like that today, but I will tell you, growing up, I thought, my the world was my oyster as a young person, that I was always going to feel good. Well, not. Hold on. If you think like that or you thought like that, we know that that's not true. Absolutely. Because as we get older, there are things we need to do to make sure we continue to enjoy good health. But something else I used to think, which was kind of crazy back then, or maybe some of you can relate. I used to think that my good health was a right, that it was my right to experience good health. And that not only was it a right, but it wasn't even my responsibility to take care of my health. It was your responsibility. It was my doctor's for sure. Not only was it my mom when I was growing up, but it was those doctors, their responsibility to make sure I enjoyed good health. Well, you know what I discovered over the years is really that too is not true. It's not my doctor's responsibility. It wasn't my late husband's responsibility. It's not your responsibility to take care of my health. It's mine. And something else I discovered over the years, which maybe some of you know, I used to think that health was only about nutrition. It was only about what I put into my body. That was it. Well, you know what, today for me, good health is about so many more things. And because health is one of my pillars, one of the things that I use every year when I'm looking at my goals, when I'm thinking about how I want to improve my health, I'm looking at it from a holistic perspective. So, for example, it's about what I put in my body, proper nutrition. It's about getting proper rest. People laugh at me very often because not only does my phone go off between like 5 and 5:30 unless I absolutely have something to do in the evening, I'm usually in bed sleep by 7:30. Now I also wake up at 4 in the morning, but I go to bed pretty early. Why? Because my sleep is critical to my well being, it's critical to my health. So I've got nutrition, I've got sleep, I've got reducing my stress. Some things we can't control in terms of stress, but there are some things I can control. So managing that. What's something else I want to pay attention to? Movement, exercising. Okay, most days, and there are some exceptions, but most days when I get up in the morning, I work out pretty much every day. Again, there are some exceptions, but while I can move my body, I do move my body. And I do it for a number of reasons. Number one, because I think when I'm exercising, it actually aids in my good digestion, my good regulation, but also it increases my energy and I just feel better after I've worked out. There are lots of components that go into good health. So, what I'd like you to do is I want you to download the health worksheet. And I want you to stop and actually read through the entire blog. There are two blog posts, one that focuses on health and the other that's the overall pillars blog post. I want you to read through both of them and then fill in the blanks in the worksheet. That's what I'd like you to do. Take a moment and do that. You know what? As we look at this year, it's really important that we not beat up on ourselves for what we didn't do last year, because really it's just an opportunity to see what worked and see what we still need to focus on. That's for each of us, and each of us has our own charge. So again, read through the blogs, download the worksheet, and until next month, this is Francine Ward. Have a great day. Bye bye.